Galactic Council debates human-s naptime rituals and their effect on cubs. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was called at the 7th chime, which meant something between existential threat and embarrassing diplomatic incident. The chamber filled with the low hum of translators warming up and the rustle of delegates settling their limbs, tendrils, wings, and gravitic fields into place. At the center dais, High Arbiter Zelthun tapped the crystal gavel twice. "Order," Zelthun said, 3 eyes blinking in asynchronous irritation. "We convene today to discuss the situation involving human caretaker Maya Hernandez and her so-called nap-time rituals." A hollow projection bloomed above the dais. It showed a human female seated on the floor of a nursery, back against the wall, legs crossed. Draped over her were no fewer than 6 alien cubs of different species, a downy avian hatchling tucked under her chin. 2 scaled quadrupeds sprawled across her legs, a soft-furred mammalian cub curled against her ribs, and most concerning of all, a juvenile Vraxian predator, its serrated tail twitching lazily as it slept with its head on her shoulder. Maya's eyes were closed. Her breathing was slow. One arm was loosely wrapped around the nearest cub. The other rested palm up, fingers occasionally twitching in what appeared to be unconscious motion. The cubs did not move. They slept, deeply. Councilor Hurisk of the Vraxian clans rose immediately, claws scraping against the floor. "This is unacceptable," Vraxi hissed. "Vraxian young do not sleep in proximity to non-kin. They especially do not sleep exposed. Our cubs are apex predators. They are trained from hatching to remain alert." Zelthun inclined its head. "And yet, Councilor, the records show your cub entered a state of torpor within 3 minutes of exposure to the ritual." Shrift's frill flared. "Exactly my point." Across the chamber, Ambassador Peln of the Lurari Collective lifted a delicate limb. "If I may," Peln chimed softly, "our species finds the phenomenon fascinating. Lurari cubs are empathic sponges. Prolonged stress leads to developmental instability. Since being placed in human Maya's care rotation, our cub has exhibited unprecedented calm." Another hala flickered into existence. This one showed Maya lying on a low couch, a translucent Lurari cub nestled against her chest. The human was humming barely audible, even with amplification. The cub's bioluminescent markings pulsed in slow, even rhythms. "Those vibrations," Pelm continued, "appear to synchronize the cub's neural oscillations. We have never observed such regulation without specialized equipment." Councilor Threx of the Insectoid Union clicked his mandibles sharply. "Regulation is not the issue. Influence is. The human employs repeated tactile contact, rhythmic sound patterns, and controlled breathing. These are classic imprinting vectors." Zelthun gestured for calm. "Caretaker Maya has been trained under cross-species childcare protocols." Threx's antennae twitched. "Protocols written by humans." A murmur rippled through the chamber. At the rear of the hall, Observer Unit K-77, a synthetic intelligence tasked with childcare analytics, activated its speaker. "Clarification," K-77 said. "Human nap rituals do not meet the criteria for forced imprinting. They lack directive reinforcement, command association, or hierarchical conditioning." "Then explain the data," Threx snapped. The hala shifted again. Graphs appeared, stress hormone levels plummeting. Aggression markers stabilizing. Sleep cycle regularity increasing across every species under Maya's care. "And this," K-77 added, "occurred during nap time." Rusk slammed the claw onto the table. "Our cubs are warriors, not plush objects to be piled upon." The next image appeared unbidden. It showed the Vraxian cub awake, eyes half-lidded, tail wrapped loosely around Maya's wrist as she read from a datapad. The cub yawned, displaying a full set of teeth, and then, shockingly, leaned closer. "I object to that footage being shown," Risk growled. Zelthun raised the gavel. "Objection noted and overruled." Councilor Celine of the Avran flight clans fluttered her wings thoughtfully. "Humans have long practiced communal rest behaviors, yes? Nesting. Cuddling." "Yes," said Peln. "Our research suggests their young are neurologically dependent on such contact for survival." "Then why," Threx asked, "do our cubs respond?" All eyes turned to K-77. The synthetic paused, a calculated delay meant to simulate thought. "Hypothesis," K-77 said. "Human nap rituals function as a universal biological signal. You are safe." The human demonstrates vulnerability, closed eyes, slowed reflexes, exposed vitals while maintaining proximity. This triggers a cross-species parasympathetic response. Silence fell. Predators do not sleep unless secure, K-77 continued. Prey do not sleep unless protected. Human Maya provides both signals simultaneously. Shusk's frill slowly lowered. Zelthun leaned forward. There is another concern. The chamber dimmed and the final recording played. It showed a crisis drill. Alarms blared. Lights flashed red. The cubs scattered in panic except those in Maya's care. They clustered around her. Maya woke instantly, rose to her feet, and placed herself between the cubs and the perceived threat. Her posture shifted, no longer relaxed but alert, balanced, protective. The Vraxian cubs snarled. The prey species did not flee. They trusted her, Zelthun said quietly. They responded appropriately, Fresk muttered, conflicted. The recording ended. Councilor Thrax exhaled through his spiracles. This was not an outcome we predicted, nor one we forbade, Kalm said gently. Our cubs are calmer, healthier. They sleep. Zelthun turned the gavel in its grasp. Caretaker Maya has requested permission to continue her nap time rituals. A soft chime indicated an incoming message. With a gesture, Zelthun allowed it. Maya's voice filled the chamber, unaware of the august audience. Hey, council people, she said, sounding sheepish. I was told you had concerns about nap time. I just want you to know I don't do anything special. I just sit with them. Sometimes I hum, sometimes I read. If they climb on me, I let them. Everyone needs rest, especially kids. She paused. And, if it helps? I promise I don't mind the pile. The transmission ended. For a long moment no one spoke. Finally, Resk stood. The Vraxian clans, he said slowly, will allow continued observation. Peln inclined their head. The Lorari Collective fully endorses the practice. One by one, delegates voiced dissent, some enthusiastic, some wary, none outright opposed. Zelthun struck the gavel. Then it is decided. Human nap time rituals are approved under supervised conditions. The lights brightened. The emergency session dissolved into quiet conversation. As delegates departed, K-77 reviewed one last data point flagged but unexplained. Across multiple species, cubs had begun exhibiting a new behavior, when frightened, when hurt, when tired. They sought out humans, specifically one human. Back in the nursery, Maya shifted slightly as another cub crawled into her lap. She adjusted instinctively, making space, her arm tightening just enough to keep them from slipping. She yawned. All right, everyone, she murmured. Nap time. The galaxy's future closed its eyes and slept.